today. We've got some fantastic guests, as always. We love to bring you achievers out in the community who we can look up to and we can show you so that you also can look up to them. We're going to have our guests introduce themselves, starting from my right.
I'm Denise Williams.
I am Michelle V.
Travis Evans.
Dante Campbell.
I'm Queen Tiffany Giselle.
So what we like to do is tell you a little bit about what we do. We do the Driven to Achieve Achievers as part of a 3 television set where we also have Aaliyah's Teen Talk and the Driven to Achieve Dream Team and the kids cuting up that are ages 6 to 12. We're doing this to help the children have greater self-esteem, greater self-awareness, to be able to look up to themselves and others out in the community, to give them a start so that they can have on their resumes that they have been on television, that they are competent and capable. So all of that is about getting people started.
Yes.
In our books, we talk about Driven to Achieve the ABCs of Life and Driven to Achieve ABCs of Life workbook, campaign, and study guide, because this is a thing you have to work with. You really have to work on being achievers. It's not something that just happens. You have to do something. And so we're all about motivating and encouraging people to do what they need to do to become the greatest them, the best them that they can be. And that's what this show is about. We want to bring you people that otherwise might go unnoticed in our community or may be out here working their tails off on a large scale, but only become visible to you, if at all, on a small scale. We are about taking those stereotypes that we're not doing anything in our communities but getting high and smoking weed and doing drugs and robbing folks, and show you that there are millions of us out here making money legitimately, making ways to increase our community better. We're out here doing all kinds of things. I sometimes am baffled at the kinds of people that we meet along the way, and we want to bring them to you. What do you want? What do you think, Tony?
I totally agree. Growing up, I came from 2 communities. One was with houses, and the other was housing authority. And so you would call slightly like a project-like area. When we were there, it wasn't a project, but now it is. And growing up, we saw role models on television.
That's right.
We had people in our community who were doing great things, but not like in the city. So when I came to Atlanta, I was able to see black lawyers,
That's right.
black doctors, black business owners, black dentists, black. And so for people to be able to see someone who looks like you doing awesome things is amazing. Now, our show isn't just about people of hue.
Right. That's right.
But it is about bringing people of hue, of our particular color hue, to you, so that if you can see that they're doing a particular area, you can say, hey, I aspire and can do it as well.
And
And
we've had Asians and Caucasians and Hispanics. We've had everybody on the show because I can get inspired through anything.
Yes.
Color is not going to make a difference whether you're inspiring me or not.
Yes.
But one of the things we say, and I like to support that, is we have folks from the White House to the outhouse. And that's our goal, because we've had senators, Senator Donzella James, State Rep Abel Mabel, State Rep Valencia Stovall. We've had some real powerful hitters on our show,
Yes.
and we're all powerful hitters, and that's the point. That's what we want to say. So from top to bottom, I don't care if you're a street sweeper. Somebody has to sweep that street, because if they don't, the trash is going to pile up and nobody will get anywhere. So we're all about just bringing you folks. I don't care if they're homeowners, if they're students. We don't care. And today we're going to have our wonderful guests tell you what it is they do. So let's start with our beautiful person over here on the left.
How you guys doing?
Just wonderful.
Thank you so much for having us. I'm so excited to be a part of this. So I am, again, Queen Tiffany Giselle. I am the co-owner, co-founder of 2 major brands, Black Heartbeat and Giselle Wine.
Okay.
And Giselle Wine is the youngest Black-owned wine company in the country. It is absolutely delicious.
Amen.
It is something that from city to city and state to state, they have been raving over.
Wow.
And we are so proud to be the founders of something so just popular and something that's really going to change the game for our community in general.
Amen.
Again, I'm King Dante. I'm sorry, a little earlier. But it's something that's showing how we can pioneer into the future. We are leading by example.
That's right.
Going about a vineyard and possibly, just creating so many different brands, and it's within these grapes. And it's something that our community don't recognize a lot. They don't see it, and if you, further in the future, we're going to start to implement it to our community so we can all be a part of this growth. But this is something that's always been dominated by other parties, and now we cracked in, and we have a strong niche of our people, our huge, just supporting us like crazy.
It's so beautiful.
It's so
It's
beautiful.
so beautiful.
And we teach entrepreneurship through our through Black Heartbeat, and Black is an acronym. It represents build it, love it, appreciate it, and stay committed to whatever you're doing in life. You guarantee success.
Amen.
So that's what we preach out.
I think that's really beautiful, and that's one of the things that I always say: if you get there by yourself, you didn't get there. So having a training program in this area and being pioneers,
Yes.
I love that, because one of the things we are talking about is the village.
Yes.
It takes a village. We spend $1 trillion. At least when I looked it up, that's what the research said. We spend $1 trillion as African Americans in America today. So how are we spending those dollars? Are we bringing it back into our community? I mean, because I'm having a real issue with we wear everybody else's name brand. And then we look up on our Black folks that have name brand things like it's second class or third class. I don't want to wear Darion. I don't want to wear, I need some Nike and I need some this and some that. So we're going to have to refocus our whole thinking and bring that $1 trillion back into our community. And that also speaks to the fact that we must be doing something if we're spending $1 trillion a year. And we know it's on hair. So where's the hair designers? And we're going to buy some hair. So where are those folks? We need to get our own shipments coming in and have our own
Producers.
Great big gigantic stores and buy from ourselves.
We producers
We
instead of
spend
consumers.
more money in cars, light trucks.
Yes.
I wrote a book about that in college. Cars, light trucks, hair, and fashion for Black women. We spend those dollars.
Yes.
So we need to be the leading industry in America spending those dollars, because we're giving that money to somebody that's taking it overseas back to their families.
And also
So we
with that,
really need to get on that.
And even if they are going to wear Nikes, invest in Nikes.
Right.
And so, and that's something else that we don't do. We don't invest.
That's a big part of what we
Right.
talk about with our brand with Black Heartbeat, and that's really how everything got started.
Right.
It got started from us being from the bottom and choosing to make a decision that if we were going to do anything with each other, we were going to invest in each other.
That's right.
And investing in each other had to produce some sort of assets. And that's exactly what we continue to do, but we don't want to just do it. We want everybody to be able to do it. So we give the strategies that we've used for other people to be able to kind of mimic it or find their own strategies on how they can first invest in themselves and then invest in the people around them. And that's how we gonna grow as a village.
And that's the training program, because I can see a Donald Trump with millions and trillions of dollars or whatever. I don't know how he got it. I want somebody to show me how to get it. Show me the money. How do I go get the money? Show me the money. Because I don't want to, it's okay, and I'm all for you. I want you to do your thing. But we have millions of little folks out here that need to know that they can do it
Absolutely.
too. So we need to come, like we get money and we run over there with our money and we give it to everybody else. But we need to bring our dollars in and invest. Not just build a school. Train folks how to run the schools and how to, we need to invest these dollars in the youth so that they can grow up and be their own entrepreneurs
That's the key.
instead of just watch the doctors.
That's the key to it.
You know.
Absolutely.
The youth, and we have, because we're a nonprofit organization as well, and we have a program where we bring in kids as apprentices, and they
That's
follow
right.
us
That's
and they
right.
show us. So we have
That's
we
right.
actually sponsor kids their LLCs and things like that to get their business started.
Licenses, all those things.
Show them how to actually create financial freedom for themselves at a young age, because we all have it at a young age, and we sometimes it gets overshadowed with a lot of kids aren't being freed to be expressive and to which they want to do it. So we have structures in a lot of our households, and a lot of times is, you grow up to be a certain position in life when you really want to do certain other things. So we have those kids that want to be creative and express the godliness inside of them and how to turn over that into actual paper money and energy. So, and they learn how to reciprocate it too, back and forth, right? So that's what we teach as an investor. That's how you invest in yourself.
Generational.
And everybody may not want to grow the wine,
Yeah.
but then let's take the little drug dealers and let them be the marketers. Because
Right.
if you have an excellent skill and you can sell drugs and make money, then you can sell
business.
anything. We
Exactly.
call it transferable skills.
Exactly.
I can transfer from the street to the profession, and I can do it and make money with it. And it's the truth. You know what I'm saying? It's the truth. Because they learn how to sell drugs and be excellent out there selling the drugs, and take pride in that. And so let's teach them, you can take those same skills and transfer them to any market.
Absolutely.
Any market. If you're a person who has sales skills, or they may be the person that might want to design the graphics for it, everybody is called to different
Be
things.
court.
And I tell people, be fully yourself. Whoever you are, be fully you. So if you don't want to do that part, find another part of it that you can apply yourself
Right.
in. Let's ask this young man about himself. We'll get
He's
back
special
to
to
you.
us.
Well, my motto is don't give up.
That's right.
No matter what you go through in life, don't give up. And what you face, don't give up. Because I had stroke when I was 11 years old. The doctor said I wouldn't walk, and they also said I was not intelligent. Well, I'm the IT person on my job.
How about that? How about that? I can't say I'm the IT person.
And they come to me for all their computer skills,
Praise God.
and I'm my own marketer, my own website, everything runs through me.
That's
Yeah,
right.
to you.
Because
So we need to talk.
Because in my lifetime, when I had my strokes, all my friends left me. It was just me and God.
That's right.
So I realized that I had to step up
Come on.
and do it myself with God's help, not by myself.
That's right.
That's a good point you made, and that's one of the things that we practice every day, and that's learning how to actually hear for your signs and everything of that nature. Because we sometimes, the second guessing is what gets us in trouble. And when we ask for that sign, how do you meditate? How do you pray? How do you sit down and actually ask yourself these things? Because you can start to draw out and manifest. We actually, because we're authors of a book, we actually got other books coming out, but we actually speak on that, about how it's because it's not easy being waking up every day trying to figure out how you're gonna make your next dollar. That's not easy at all. But it's what is it that gets you up?
Faith.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What pulls that out of you? And because you have that understanding of what faith is, you know that I just gotta get a crack at it. And if I plant that seed in my mind, then it's gonna grow. If I can build it in my mind, I can hold it in my hand. I.e., I can turn grapes into wine.
Amen.
I like what you said about don't give up, because one of the things I've been talking about is post-traumatic stress disorder in the African American community.
Man.
We all have post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yes.
I'm a psychologist and I can say we all have post-traumatic stress disorder.
yes.
If you're African American in America, you have post-traumatic stress disorder.
Absolutely.
And one of the things,
Yes.
we had Georgia State come in to our practice the other day and teach two classes, and one of the things I even learned is that it can be in your DNA. So stress is genetically bound to us, and we perpetuate it through our histories, and we know who's been more stressed other than the Indians than we have. So think about these centuries of stress that have gone through our body that we passed on. Then we want to know why our kids are ADHD, and we want to know why we're bipolar, and why we have major depression and post-traumatic stress disorder. We want to know why, because genetically in our chemical makeup, we passed that through the centuries. And that was scary to me to think about that, because one of the things I always say is we all have post-traumatic stress disorder. Turn on the news. I get sick inside turning on the news, because I don't want to hear one more thing about another black person being shot, beat down, woman drug on her belly. I don't want to hear one more. I feel like I'm going to burst, and I know I'm not the only one. And so to be black in America is post-traumatic stress. Absolutely. Because so much stuff has happened already being African American, and then we have to, and it's visual, it's hearing, it's reading. So just reading about somebody, I'm scared to read the paper. Yeah, I quit watching the news pretty much because it's traumatizing.
Absolutely.
It's traumatizing.
It is.
And so when you say don't give up, for me, I feel like every time I have to read something, I'm telling myself, okay, don't give up. This is going to get better. I don't know how, because you can't beat up the police. They'll shoot you. You can't you can't stand up to them or speak back to them. They'll shoot you. So it's really difficult to try to think this is going to change. And that's where I'm at right now. It's only my faith in God. Only my faith in God that can say, get up today, and it might be you today. Because it shows no preference on sex. They beat up and shoot the women just like they do the men. So it's kind of scary being black in America, and you have nothing but God.
I think also, you said it all.
I say thoughts become
Things.
Thoughts become
reality.
Actions, and actions become habits. It's also our mindset.
Yes, it is.
It's also how we think.
Absolutely.
Because they will try and put labels on us.
Yes, they will.
They will try and put labels on us.
Yes.
But we don't have to. We don't have to put some labels that they put
That's
on
right.
us.
You're right.
I say labels on jars and not on us.
That's it.
The
Labels go on jars and not on us.
Okay.
That's what you place.
Well, my thing is this, and I'm going to have to speak up right now because of the work that I do. I've been a chaplain in 6 major hospitals in Atlanta: Grady, Southern Region, Gwinnett Medical, DeKalb Medical, and on and on. I've worked for a hospice as an HIV/AIDS cancer and bereavement specialist. So I've seen all kinds of trauma.
Yeah.
Grady, shots in the head, legs hanging off, faces blown, crushed in trash compactors. I've seen it all. And so I also get to see us standing in our own way when it comes to healing. And that's one of my key issues. I'm trying to tell a black mom that your child has schizophrenia and needs to be medicated. They're not going to manage that. They're not. And you want to argue back and forth with me while your child can't sleep, and all kinds of things are going on with your child. It's really, really terrorizing and traumatic. Yes. We need definitely more education on mental health so that we can get the help that we need, because crazy and counseling are not synonymous at all. We've been taught that. Don't get the help. But our counterparts are on couches and easy chairs all day long getting what they need. So we have to step into that and get the help that we need, because we always say somebody's crazy in the family. Sure. But it's a lot of that stuff is hereditary, so you may have some bits and pieces of something too. So now I'm really happy to see more of us coming into counseling. And I don't want to hijack the show, but let's move over. I got a lot to say about that.
Oh, okay.
So you got consumed in the conversation.
I know, like, okay. All right, so again, my name is Michelle V, and I am an independent filmmaker, director, producer, and actress. I've been in the business for 17 years.
Woo.
And I'm originally from Baltimore. I moved here 7 years ago, and I would just want to say thank you so much for having me on the show.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks.
So wait, I need some more of that.
Okay.
So yeah, what movies have you been in?
I've been in so many different movies. I started out on The Wire, doing
Okay,
extra
okay.
work. That's where I first got my start.
Okay.
I was in Ladder 49 as a background talent, and I got my first speaking role back in 2010 after I finished school at John Casablanca Modeling and Acting School.
Okay.
So I did that, moved here, started my own filming company studio. It's called Trajaquin Films and Entertainment. I named it after my 3 sons, Travis, Jaden, and Quentin. So I wanted to at least pave the way for them in case they wanted to move forward in the acting industry as well. And I've been on several TV shows, They're like reenactment crime shows.
Wow.
So I've been on 2 episodes of Snap, Fatal Attraction, Murder Chose Me, and ATL Homicide.
Okay, awesome. So, folks, you can be an actress. I'm an actress. I'm in a movie. That's a series, and it's not hard. You just have to find your passion, whatever it is. I don't care what it is. Find your passion, because when you're living in your passion, you will love what you do.
I wanted to ask you a question. I know that you said that you have your own company.
Yes.
What inspired you to say, hey, I see a need to have a company?
Almost definitely. I wanted to create my own content, for one. And in order to create my own content, I wanted to establish a company. So any film projects I was a part of or am a part of will be in association with my company. So the way that I operate, I don't have a physical location, but again, if I hire freelance producers, directors to come on set to shoot, or even production companies, any projects will be in association with Trajan Films and Entertainment.
You can partner with us. We have a movie studio, and we have a beautiful location to shoot in.
I know that's right.
So you can partner with us. We've got some stuff going on in that area, and we'd like to grow it, to do some more things. Yeah.
Yeah, so I do have a few projects that are coming up. We'll be casting for that soon. So I do casting as well, location scouting. I'm a co-writer on my second film called Sisters for Life.
Okay.
And I have a feature film. We're still in the editing stages. I want to make sure that we perfect as much as possible of the film before we release it. Because once you put your product out there or your material out there, you can't take it back.
Right, and it's being
So,
judged.
I want to put out the best quality as possible, and I want to appeal to the audience of both projects.
We've had several producers, music and movie
And
producers,
casting
understand casting
Yeah.
directors and location finders and all kinds of stuff on the show. And that's one of the things we're gonna need to do is make lists of people in the same categories
Right.
so that we can get y'all networking.
And I'm
Because
also a certified PA as well.
okay.
So I want to learn as much as possible about the business in front of the camera, behind the scenes, so that I can be very diverse in what I'm doing when I'm on
That's
set and
great.
off set.
Michelle, you also said that one of your sons, I don't know about the other two, that he's an actor as well.
Yes, Jaden B. He's an actor and he's also an athlete. So he loves to play basketball. He was just on another TV show. I can't say what it was. What it is yet. But it will air on a major network. So he was just on that and he did an awesome job doing that. He also he's out there in the audience. He also starred in a stage play as
great.
Dr. King.
Oh wow! Hey Jay.
So he did that. He was a part of another movie project. He did very well. Unfortunately, it didn't go anywhere, but who's to say it still may be released soon.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep praying for that to happen.
Yes.
And again, like with my daughter, she has her TV show, and the
Okay.
whole point of it is to bring the youth into their own, to be able to
Yes.
say, I was on TV, I'm worth it. Because I deal with a
Yeah,
whole lot of
exactly.
children with low self-esteem and all of that. So to be able to put them on stage and say, hey, I can do this.
Yeah, Dr. Tanya also
And
developed
it's
public
good
speaking.
because when you have children who have behavioral issues,
Oh yeah, that's what
it's
we
good
did
to
for.
channel those issues to the stage, to the camera.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to act out, hey, this is the right place
That's
to do
the
it.
right
Right in
place.
front of
That's
the
right.
I never looked at it like that.
And our movie studio has a program called Hands on Your Life, where we're going into schools and having the kids come to our studio and make commercials.
Yeah.
So what happens is they come, we put them in groups of singers, dancers, actors, and
Yeah.
whatever, and let them write their own commercials, which they do a phenomenal job of, and then we film them. So this year what we're adding is we're going to let the parents be able to get a copy of the DVD and some film
So
and
maybe
some
they can use
pictures
it
of
as a
them.
reel.
So
Yes.
so they can use it as real. So that's another way, because again, with low self-esteem kids, depressed kids, post-traumatic stress kids, all kinds of stuff, to get them feeling good about themselves. Once you
Yeah.
can get them feeling good, like I'm worth it. Because many of these kids at home here, you ain't this, you ain't that, you can't do this, you can't do that, you're a failure. So to be able to
Creating a
and we
positive
do
self-image.
have families that do boost their children,
Yeah.
but we also unfortunately have way too many that don't, that
Yeah.
they, and again, we're products of our environment, So if we had a horrible childhood, horrible parents, horrible upbringing, we can only do what we know to do.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we
Roses
want to
come
bring
from
them in
concrete.
and teach
Yeah.
them some new
Yeah,
things, give them new
absolutely.
skills, and be able to say you are worth it. You're worth every bit of
And
who
I
you
just want to
are.
say this, parents, please be their parental support because they really look up to you to give them the okay to move forward.
That's right.
So it's very important that
Yeah.
the parents are 100% supportive of what their children want to do, whether
Right,
it's acting,
right,
whether it's sports. Everyone is born with a talent.
Everybody.
You gotta let them grow
Yeah.
and move forward in whatever they were blessed to do.
And that's one of the things I talk about, how we tell our kids don't do this and don't do that.
Yeah.
They're developing skills. Those skills, you might want to look at what
Exactly.
you're telling them not to do, because that might be what's going to make them trillions of dollars.
Right.
So you might want to boost them and encourage them and motivate them, as opposed to telling them don't.
Yeah, well,
Kids
you know,
should be seen and not heard.
that
Engage them
happened.
in the conversation so that they can have an intellectual conversation with folks outside the home. But if it starts in the home and they don't know how to converse or have social skills, then when they get out there, they're not a good representation because they're not bringing anything with them.
Well, that happened to me because my first passion was singing. And whenever I was singing, I was told, be quiet, shut up, shut up. But then I started to do that because I started to listen. I said, I need to get away from this. I said, in order for me to grow, I need to leave Baltimore. I need to go to Atlanta. I need to do my own thing.
That's right.
So I'm so glad I did that.
All right, so we are now going to have you be told about this awesome wine distribution by these two wonderful leaders in the industry. So let's have at it.
I hope they can tell me what's the best wine for a steak.
For steak, we got-
Absolutely.
So what we offer is our signature 3, which is our red label raspberry, okay, and our gold label apricot, and our black label blueberry, and then we also have our champagne, which is
Exclusive,
it's
seasonal.
very,
Yes.
very. But they all offer a sweet dry vibe. So we are a cocktail wine. They coined us as the wine for the culture.
Yes.
The reason being is because it's going to offer you a lot of flavor, but it's going to also offer you enough dryness on the back end that you can have it with your meal, right?
Yes.
So our red label raspberry is going to give you a sweet red rosé vibe.
Absolutely.
And it pairs well with chicken. It pairs well with your finest cheeses, So
You know how they say
It's a
turn
half-
up before you go out?
it's
Yeah,
an
that's that bottle.
aphrodisiac, so it's a bottle of fun. That's a bottle of fun
Yes.
right there. So this second bottle is
This is our fan favorite right here.
This
So
is-
that's
this-
what you were asking about.
Right.
Well, you were asking about red meats, but this has been the fan favorite so far this year.
yeah.
This is the most smooth out of the 3. This is gonna remind you of a Moscato with a Riesling Chardonnay spirit. So if you like white wines and you like sweet wines, this is going to be the perfect combination of all of those for you.
This is the most well balanced bottle.
Absolutely.
So if you a dry drinker, you will still love it. But if you're a sweet drinker, you will still love it. It's just perfect. This is our most proud bottle right there. The black label blueberry is going to remind you of a port of a Merlot,
Sweet Merlot.
but with a sangria type of spirit. So you looking at dry on the front but sweet on the back. This is the typical table wine. This is the one that you want to have with your steak, your lamb, if you want to have meats. And it's just all 3 of them offer you something different. But they kind of gradually go from sweetest to not so sweet, because we all know that is rangy with people's palates. And then we have our seasonal peach prosecco. This is a peach sparkle. This right here is another proud accomplishment of ours, because now we entering into celebrations. Now we got our people, when it comes to celebrating and having some bubbly, they can think about it. Yeah. So.
And the book is, like I said, what started the whole thing. So, 5 Black Heartbeats of Love and Wealth is 5 keys to investing with the person you invest in. And it really all starts with the investment that you make in yourself. And we really want people to sit back and take an assessment of the investment that they're making in themselves, so that they can determine, are the people around them assets or liabilities. We want people to start looking at their lives as a business. And when you invest in your business, you expect progression, you expect to scale up, and it should be no different with the investments that you make in your life. So that's the whole reason why we do what we do, because we want to be not only successful, we don't only want to create generational wealth for us, but we want everybody around us to win, and it's possible, and it's out here, and we can all do it.
So what's the 5 keys? We came up with an acronym which is called FACTS. That's friendship, appreciation, consideration, trust, and security. Everything you want in a solid foundation. When you look a little deeper, they also business terms. So all we did with this book was show people how to apply the business side along with the emotional side, so they can get a return on investment in each other.
I.e. Giselle Wine.
Yep.
We want to thank you for that. That's pretty awesome right there. To use Tony's word, powerful.
It's powerful.
I love that, and the fact that you're a leader in the community, to be able to say, you know, we don't want to just make our own wealth. We want to be able to create wealth and disseminate wealth into the community.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times we get that money and run. And that's what I get so sad about. It's like, there's so many folks out there doing so many fantastic things that have literally made it. And if they would just come back and show, I want somebody to show me how to make a couple of million. I haven't figured that out yet. I'm working my tail off over here. But I say that, you know, somebody need to come and show me. So we all need mentors, and to be able to be a mentor is a wonderful, beautiful thing. I want to get to her. So we want to, again, let's give them another hand.
Please tell us about who you are and what it is that you do.
My name is Denise Williams. I'm a part of the New Order National Human Rights Organization with Gerald Rose, the founder. We do community activist work throughout the state of Georgia and also in other states. And my role, I sit at the table with the police chief in different counties. I also sit at the table with the sheriff, with the police brutality and, you know, different things that's going on in the community and county. And currently we're working on a situation that happened in Covington, Georgia, with a young lady with the police pulling her child out her hand and the child hitting the ground. So that's an active case that we're working on. And according to the chief of police in Covington, Georgia, he said that the police did not do anything wrong, that he did everything, you know, within the code of standards. And so, but we disagree, and the body cam plainly show that it was not within the code.
Denise, a lot of times people to talk about problems, and we can hear problems all day long, but I like the fact that you guys are working on solutions.
Right.
And then I often say, what are we doing about it? What are we doing about it?
Well, I made a sound decision that I just got tired of seeing you know, like all the black guys, you know, African American getting shot. Then it moved from the African Americans to they started targeting our young African American females with their children in their hands.
Right.
I was like, no, this is too much. It has to stop. And what I tell people is, don't wait till the fight, knock at your front door. You got to be a part of the fight before it knock at your front door. So that way you already have your people lined up. They ready to fight. They ready to go to war. Whatever needs to be done, we have to, we have to hold one another accountable. So I love what I do.
And I've been a whole history of activism.
Yeah.
I started at 15. I started working with NAACP, SCLC, and globs of other organizations because I was always an activist. I was the one starting the riot because if you mess with us, we coming back at you.
Right.
And so it's we can talk about it all day long, but the question is we need to be about it. What are we doing about it? We can talk about it all day, but exactly what are we doing about it? We need to be active because like I said earlier, today, is it going to be me? Yeah. When I get up any morning, I don't know if it's going to be me.
And a lot of these things, I would ask, is it because we have is it the cell phones that's making it so prevalent that we can see it?
Because we can see it now. It's not that there's more.
I'm listening.
It's just that we can see it. Come on,
I want to say, no, one of the things that's been helping turn around things in our community that we be coaching in is the fact that we don't allow the programming to come in as far as like we teach about how to deprogram themselves from all that, so we can focus on the creative processes and other, right? So we understand if I can mute, like you said, mute certain people. If I can mute that type of behavior, it'll keep the energy levels level and not so emotionally. We not jumping so much into. What I'm saying is that we have to do our part into. If I see certain things happen in community, in a certain type of community, I want to implement something that's going to actually turn into a positive, which in turn would be okay. Let's get into the head of these kids or the head of these individuals that may be caught up in these certain type of situations. Let's focus on what they focus on, what they want to do.
That goes back into what he was saying, mindset,
right.
And really paying attention to what you're paying attention to,
Exactly.
Because that energy will continue to happen if you continue to, So we work a lot on helping people recreate their mindsets and recreate their focus and get out of learned behavior and start new behavior patterns that will be more aligned with what they want to do and what they want to do.
Some of the kids really don't know what they want to do.
Absolutely.
They have very limited resources.
A whole bunch of adults don't know what they
communities.
want to do.
And that's why we started Driven to Achieve.
Exactly.
Because in our second book, we talk about that, doing a vision plan.
Yeah.
Going in and setting up your goals
It's
and
so
talking about
important.
3, 5, 10 years of
It's
what's
so
going on in
important.
your life and going back and checking, did I meet those goals and what else do I need to do to meet those goals?
And affirmations. We don't have.
Yes.
It's not enough affirmations. One of the things that she does that I love, and she just naturally loves me in this way, and it's amazing. We talk about the 5 love languages, right?
We do too.
And one of the things that she does is she knows I'm a words of affirmation type of guy, and I speak affirmations. I speak life into people. If you want to know somebody's love language, just pay attention to how they love, and that's how they want to receive it, right? So I tell her all the time how beautiful, how bad she is, how all of this, how how much she compliments who I am. And one of the things that she does for me is she puts sticky notes eye level to me when I get up in the morning. So I say that to say this is very important because I do a whole lot, and we make a lot of business decisions every day. So to wake up stressed knowing I got a whole pile of things to do could cause me to have a depressed day and cause that to be a chain reaction. But because she gave me, you a king, don't let nobody change your thought process. She put all the stuff right in the bathroom, all the way out to the door. By the time I walk out the door, I feel like Superman. A lot of times, so I don't even notice the drama around me because I'm so focused on getting to a goal, hitting a certain type of goal that also inspires those around me.
Can we call that getting ahead of your thoughts?
Man, listen, that's what we do.
And you know what? Sometimes don't be so hard on yourself. Whatever you can't do or you won't do, don't. Just don't.
I want to go back to what you said earlier about a lot of people don't know because they haven't been shown, they haven't been taught, and they have been around stagnant folks. And so one of the things I was telling, I'm a clinical supervisor, and one of the things I was telling one of my supervisees today is teach classes on self-esteem, teach classes and bring in the testing, the Wechsler's test and all the different tests that you can show these kids. Give them a test that says where they fill it out and then it'll say over here, oh, you're really good at IT stuff. Oh, you're really good at verbal communication. Oh, you're really good at this. And then we have a way to channel them because now they feel proud of themselves. Oh, I did something well. I'm looking at this. Dr. Brown said that I could do this really good. Well, I didn't say it. You said it. You filled out the questionnaire and put in what you did and what you liked.
Giving them an
So
opportunity.
giving them,
Also,
Definitely.
Again, the show is not only for our hue, but I'm talking about melanated people in particular, us, giving them a positive sense of self. Your name is King.
That's right.
And so just by telling them you're loved, you're beautiful, you're God. You are an extension of God. That's who you are. And if you can put a positive self-image in a person, then that alone will build them up, and they can believe in their abilities.
and that's
Tell them that they
hard.
got God in them.
Well, and it can be hard when you're a parent because we're juxtaposing the bad with the good. So I'm looking at you, and if every time I look at you, you're doing bad stuff, girl, quit it. Cut this mess out. I need you to get right. You know, so it's all this as a parent, because I tell my daughter in a second, I have to get this stuff in you before you leave me. That's my job as your parent. You don't have to like me. I hope you do, but you don't have to.
Right.
Because there's certain things I have to put in you before you leave my house. That's my job. That's my role. And so we're looking at the bad, and sometimes she'll say, well, mommy, what did I do good? And so we also have to bring in that good piece. You know, and I'll tell her, you are such the most beautiful child when it comes to being thoughtful, when it comes, because she'll bring me water, she'll do all kinds of stuff that can go unnoticed because you did that one thing, and I'm still focusing on that one thing. So we have to bring it back in and find the positives, regardless of how bad we don't want to give them. At that moment, we have to find those positives and put it in there.
And
Girl,
be
you
yourself.
did this, you aced that test,
And so
you know,
also,
find stuff.
the mother and the father has to understand who they are, and again, based on belief systems, as black people, we're taught in certain places that we're the lowest of the lows. And so then, if that's how you see yourself, remember you said it's not no labels, because we know who we are.
Yes.
Who you say I am doesn't matter.
Right,
It's who
right.
I say I am. And so once we get a positive self-image of who we are, then we can put that into us. A lot of our children, they don't see themselves as worthy. And so if I don't see myself as worthy, then if I take your life, what good is it? What does it matter if I
Right.
shoot my brother? But if you see yourself as worthy, come on with it, bring it on.
Yes, because my mama tried to shelter me. That was this little old bike on in the back house. My mom said, "Boy, she go to work and I ride a bike all around."
That's right. That's right.
I ride the bike.
Get what I need.
And I play back the backwoods, go home, get in my wheelchair. So one day she coming home.
Go home and get in the wheelchair and play sick.
I said, I was on by her. I said, I was having so much fun. I had forgot. I was on by her. I said, after that, my mama said, boy, I'm going to stop babying you.
That's right. That's right. But and now that's going to touch the sore spot with me as a therapist, because we have these mothers, and I'm constantly saying, look, what I say, I have to get it in her before she leaves.
Right.
That you have to support yourself. You have to work. You have to get an education. I can't. Certain things I can't do for you. I can spoil you riding at home, but I'm kicking you out at a certain age. You got to go. I need you to grow up, and it's healthy separation. It's called healthy separation. But I have moms who keep those 18, 22, 45-year-old sons at home that's smoking weed in the backyard or in the front yard, out in the car, got all their gang crew in the yard. And I'm saying, no. I can't put them out because now they're dead. And now you come in, so we have a whole, our therapeutic process just changed because now they're dead. When I'm trying to tell you, we cannot make these men our babies for a lifetime. It's healthy separation. Kick those Negroes out in the street. My mother and father used to say, if you don't get a job and you don't get an education, you're getting up out of here. And so when we raise them in our home, and it's okay, I'd rather them smoke weed out in my house than out in the street. What? Have you lost your mind? Come on, let's grow these grown folks and help them grow up.
I want that. You go ahead, please.
I'm sorry. I just had a conversation with someone earlier today about spoiling their child. I said, I don't think it's a great idea to spoil your child, because when you spoil your child, you're not getting them ready for their future. You're not getting them ready for their mate. Because if you have the spoiled little girl who wants her man to give her everything she wants and she needs because she's so used to getting it from her daddy.
That's right.
It's not going to last. It's not going to, move forward. It's not going to progress or go anywhere with their relationship. Like my son, I don't spoil him. He said, Ma, I want to be a husband. Let's get you ready.
Let's get you
in
ready
the
to be a
kitchen.
husband.
Let me show you how to
Can you
cook,
please?
how to pay bills. Because
Can
right
you
now,
cook? Can you clean?
you're working, you're getting paid
Can you
at
work?
the age of 11 years old as a working actor. So yes, let's go ahead and get you ready and prepared right now. Because I have 3 sons and 2 grandsons. and I don't mother any of them. I mean, I'm their mother, but I don't spoil any of them.
And they'll be great men because one, they'll be able to care for themselves. They won't have to put up with a lot of nonsense.
Yeah.
And two, they'll be a great husband when it comes time to be a husband. Because there's nothing worse than having a guy that can't do anything. You can go to work and bring home some money, but we live in a house that needs to be clean. There's bills that have to be paid. Something has to be ironed. Beds have to be made. Floors have to be swept and mopped. So there's things that have to be done. And if you only know how to go to work and pay bills, that's kind of sad right there.
Sure
But we, which speaks to real quick, I'm gonna throw this in there. Another issue that I've been having in terms of, as women, we have been conditioned that we have to keep everything under us, under our little nest. And I'm saying, let's throw some of this stuff out. I freak at the face of convention because we've been taught, don't lose your kids, don't lose your house, don't lose your job, don't lose this, don't lose. So we hold on to everything. We're afraid we're going to lose something. I don't care how destructive it is to our life. We're still holding on. So I do a let go exercise. Let that stuff
what
go.
I'm telling you.
Let it
Sometimes
go.
you can't get to it, just let it go.
And people are still struggling with letting stuff go. Then I say, okay, just throw it, bam, get rid of this stuff. We feel like we have to raise the children. If the man is as good as we are at being a father as we are at being a mother, why do we have to do it? We have been conditioned that we're pitiful, pathetic mothers if we don't raise our children. So where are the men at? So 95% of them in the wind with other kids and other baby mamas and all that. Take them with you, because I guarantee you that if some of these men got to raise their children, they wouldn't be dropping them all over the world. They would just be, once you see that child support, you know, because I hear all the time from men, that's right, I'm not paying for her to raise the you know, a roof over another head. You see what I'm saying? My thing is, your child need, and I tell them, when your child eats, you need to eat. When you eat, your child needs to eat.
Yes,
when you drink, your child needs to drink. When you lay your head down, your child needs a bed. When you put on clothes, your child needs clothes. So let them take them.
Yes.
Because that little child support that you handing over is not the roof and the food and the house note and the furniture they're sitting on, the bed they're sleeping in. And so we need to recondition ourselves, because daddies need to be raising some of these kids.
Yes.
And then if the daddies had their sons, they probably wouldn't be as irresponsible out here selling drugs. They probably wouldn't be as irresponsible, and you have to hunt them down for the child support. So I'm looking at how can we regroup all of this, because we have been messed up in the head, being conditioned that we are the only super people in the world. Let them be supermen sometime. I love my millennials. They coming like Dr. Brown, he was leaving. I told him to take his little packages with him. Not that they don't love their children, but the men can do it too. We don't have to do everything.
That's right.
We talk a lot about that in our book as well, and we hit those points that people are not having those conversations about.
Right.
And what we do is we don't just talk about it, but we give guidance on how you can even start to have those conversations with that other person.
That's right.
Because
That's
a lot
right.
of times those two people can't even
That's right.
communicate,
That's right.
let alone sit down and actually come up with some kind of strategic decision on how to raise that child the right way, or what, you know, what's going to be best for them. So we really coming from our community, which is, it's just messed up in a mindset because of the learned behavior, because of what we've come from and what we've seen and all these
And been
things.
told.
But it has to be a point where we sit down, and because we don't want to go through this stuff.
That's right.
We really don't want to go through it. But we're not having the conversations and getting into a mature enough state of mind to say, okay, if we don't want to go through it, how can we figure something out? And so looking at us, people will say, well, I think they kind of come from what I come from. Let me peek and see what they're talking about, because it's an uncomfortable conversation.
That's right.
And when we do talk to them, we speak in our language and they get it. And so we're opening so many people's eyes. And I'm glad that you have this platform that you can open so many people's eyes, man, because all it starts with is a conversation.
Yeah,
That's
and
it.
it can be hard. You know, I love it when I get some of the new generations coming in and they're saying, "Well, Dr. Brown, we're not together, but we're co-parenting. So we need some new skills and some traits and some things to
That's
work
so
with that."
mature.
And I love that, because once you and it starts back in the beginning when you lay down and you make it. So that's where the work needs to be done. Is this the person I really want to have a child with? That's where the work needs to be done, because we jump up for whatever reasons, make these kids, and then the kids sacrifice. They're watching fighting all day long. Yeah, your child has post-traumatic stress disorder, and your child is depressed. They watching you yell and scream and holler. I tell my parents, if the child is coming back home to the same thing, you need to be in the therapeutic process. We need to be doing some family systems therapy up in here
That's
because the
true.
whole family is broke. It's not just the child. I can work on the child all day long, but if I send him back to you and you're the person that's broke and he has to answer to you, that child is gonna be hard, you know, to do the work that we need to do. So if you're yelling and screaming and hollering and fussing and fighting in front of your children, you need to be in a counseling office somewhere getting some new skills. That you know.
Do you all go into the communities and build up the people? I know you take on cases.
Yeah.
But do y'all build up people?
That was one thing I wanted to touch on. We don't, when we go in a community, you know, I don't want them to think that I'm just gonna come in and just do the fight. No, I'm gonna learn you how to fight.
That's right.
Because I can't commit to be at every appointment that you're gonna be at. I can't commit to be at every court date that you need to be at. So I like to go in and I like to go in and educate the community on how to fight. Because if I educate you on how to fight, if something come up again, you'll know exactly what to do. You know to go get that police report. You know to go get that the body cam. You know how to go file that complaint with the chief of police or the sheriff department.
Yes.
So you have to lay that foundation to let them know what to do.
Can I ask you something too? Before it happens to any of us, how can we get that type of information? Because like you were
training.
saying, we don't know if we could be next. And so before it is me, is there any information, not where I can go, but is there any information where I can say how to file a complaint? I didn't know that individuals can have body cams.
I didn't either.
That's new to me.
Yeah, you just do an open record request and request an open record request on the body cam and the dash cam video.
Okay.
You know, when an incident happens, you can, you know, go get the police report and so.
So I love y'all's organization. I love it because we need watchdog groups. They've been watching us for years and making laws to hold us down and all kinds of stuff. But I love that y'all are one of the, because one of the things I used to say is, who's going to protect us? And with Trump in office, God only knows the racists have just crawled out of the cracks. And so who's going to protect, who, you know, I used to think, well, maybe the Muslim brothers are going to step up if a war comes and they're going to, magically come and protect everybody. You know, because I do feel that sometimes, like, where are big brothers and who's going to fight for us? I'm going to fight too.
Who's
I'll fight too. But
Who's ordained to carry that baton?
So what y'all do, and I tell Gerald this all the time, I love what y'all do because the advent of a lot of this stuff coming to the camera, to the phone camera, has also brought out organizations like y'all's that are coming out and publicly saying, we're not going to be a part of this, we're going to be a part of the solution, we're going to track you down, we're going to call you out, we're going to name names.
Yes.
You know, I was reading something on my Facebook page the other day that had like 233, I can't remember the exact number, of child molesters. One of the little cities, Floyd County, somebody did a sting for 1 week. Now imagine if they brought out that many in 1 week, where they got prostitutes, they got the Johns, they got I think it was 5 or 6 or 7 girls who had been trafficked. So in 1 week, imagine if they did that for a whole year. And they had, I think it was some judges and some police officers and somebody in their own organization that they worked in. So they brought out doctors and lawyers. And so somebody's got to be that. And they named names. I couldn't believe it. I was like, they put every single one of their names in here, what color they were, what they were brought up on charges for. And so we have to be able to say, Jack Black, police officer, drug,
That's
Dr. Tonya Sumner Brown, up the
That's
street on such and such a day, and all she had done was pull over. I've had them stop me so they can come and look in my vet to see if there's anything illegal going on in my vet. And so I've been profiled a lot because of cars and things. So we're minding our own business. We're not doing anything, but we know that because I'm, even in my car, I'm scared to pass a cop sometimes because I'm like, okay, he's going to put his light on and find anything. It's a new car, but you just never know. Where you were looking kind of suspicious while you drove by. You just never know.
It's also important for us to be able to know, because I want to be involved. And so afterwards, I'm going to speak with you and say, well, what can we do? And that's why we bring the people on the stage, so that you can get involved and talk and understand how you too can be not someone who's silent, but you do have a voice.
So let's do this. Walk around real quick and tell us who you are again, the name of your organization. We have about 3 minutes left, so we can just say the name of your organization and who you are.
Okay. I am Queen Tiffany Giselle, again, owner, founder, co-founder of Giselle Wine and Black Heartbeat.
I am King Dante, co-owner and founder of Black Heartbeat and Giselle Wine.
I'm Travis Evans, and I am trying to improve. I'm trying to movement where people don't give up on their dreams, on their hopes in their life. No matter what goes in life, what you face, don't give up. I don't care how hard it seems. Don't give up. Yeah. I figured out my experiences to help me out because I work now helping people navigate the people who come to the table. If I hadn't been through that experience, I would not be able to talk to them. So our experiences, they help us out.
And my name is Michelle V. I am the CEO of Trajan Quint Films and Entertainment, actress, filmmaker, director, and producer.
My name is Denise Williams, and I'm a part of New Order National Human Rights Organization.
I'm Bishop Dr. Tonya Brown.
Reverend Antionette Toni Tate.
We'd like to thank you today for viewing our show, and we really hope that you got something out of it. We really try to make it educational. We try to bring new ideas out for you, and certainly folks that are out here doing some fantastic things that you need to know about. We want our children to know that we are not just the negative in the community.
Achievers run the world.
From the outhouse to the White House, achievers run the world.
Yes, thank you all. Thank you all.